I know he hasn't gotten here yet. Now, he said he wanted the motion up at the front.
Yeah,
And then one in the hall,
yeah.
which I think is a good idea. The only thing that I think he might want to consider is a motion where the safes are at, because there's a window in there, and anybody could just break that window and have all night at it.
Yeah.
So
I'll let him. I'll talk to him.
Okay. Yeah. Let me know. I'm just gonna start programming and mounting equipment.
Okay.
So have fun.
Okay.
Thanks.
There's a lot of LCDs. I'm gonna probably be here for a couple of hours, honestly. We will get to it today, though, for sure. I'll probably finish it too, so that's not gonna be the issue. Might have to call it. So there are some copies. We're gonna have to go through them to reconfirm the count. So this one's marked as a Google Pixel, which seems right. Apparently not buying Google Pixels, and I know there's no place to put the account on the website for a Google Pixel. So. S8 1, S6 Edge 1, Samsung S5, good. And this one's an LG. So as well, LGs we're currently not buying these. We do buy, sort of. These outside for now. So now let's make sure the Samsung first. It's not a lot of them. So an S8 1, S6 Edge 1, S5 1 as well. Okay. So he included the Samsungs. There's no way to include the LG and the Google Pixel on the website, so he didn't include those or mix them in with the Samsungs. Yeah, we can buy those though. I'll probably let them know so they can contact the customer. I mean, guys. Okay, so let's measure with the iPhones as well. Make sure that there wasn't an overcount or an undercount on the screens. Okay, so let's start with the 5 series. Okay, so the 5 series, 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, which is correct, accurate. 75 series. 6 plus, let's do 6 plus. 6 plus should be 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Which is accurate as well. Now iPhone 6, I should have 36. 16. That's 16. So you just need 20 more. 5 more. Just need 5 more to make 36 total. Which is exactly what we have left over here. 5 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 20. plus 16, 36, accurate. Let's do sixes. That's 15. Should have 38. That's 25. That's 35. It's 38. So that's good. Yes, it says plus 12, 21, 7. We have 7 right here. And we have 13 here. Okay, so this is 13. So the screen says we should have 21. I count 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So minus 1 on this one. Let's continue. Let's make sure that that's the only issue. 15 here. So we should have 16 total for 7. 15 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's 31. So 7 is good and accurate. And 7 plus, we should have 29. Looks like we might have more than that. So 16 on this one. Like I said, 16 on this one. 16 on this one. 16. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay. So on 7 plus, we have 30. Okay, so according to the count of the customer, we should have 29. But we have 30. We should have 31 in here, but we have only 30. So what probably happened is that 7 plus was probably placed with the 6s plus, and they were counted together. That's why it's 31 here, and that's why it's 29 here. So this one has one more, and this one has one missing. So they probably got them mixed up and accidentally counted the 7 plus with the 6s plus 4, which is accurate. So everything else here seems to be accurate. What you need to count is 8 plus. 8 plus accurate as well. 6. And 6 on the screen. So yeah, all the entire count was good. Samsung's was good. iPhones was good. 5, 6, 6 plus, all of them, except on the 7 plus and the 6s plus. And the issue, like I said, is probably that, which is actually better than that it was a 7 plus, that you have more 7 plus than 6s, since 7 plus is actually worth more. So that's good.
Are you able to ask him? Or?
I asked him, he has an answer though.
Okay. Alright.
So that was really the only issue with this order. Very small issue. Also, the Google Pixel and the LG that was included in the bots, we do not buy them. That's why they're not on the website. So anything that's not on the website, we're currently not buying. So that's why we can't get those. I put them back inside the bots, and I already sent a message to the main guys so that they can let the customer know. So I don't know if I should probably wait for them, but I don't think it's gonna be an issue since it's just 2 screens that were just like extra. So most likely what I'll do is continue on with the testing for the rest of it. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be okay. That way we can advance a little bit faster, since it's a lot of LCDs that we received from this order. Right? Okay. So first what we're gonna do is take out anything that's not original, since we're currently only buying original LCDs. Anything that's not original, I'll try to show it to the screen the best way possible so you can see the reason and explain it as well, so you can know why something's original, why something isn't. So far, all the 5 series seem to be original except this one. So this one, all the 5 series have barcodes on the LCDs, except this one, right on this metal. It's completely blank, no barcode, no nothing. So this one's gonna be a copy LCD. This one, I don't know if you can see that on the screen, but it has a barcode. You can see it right there. The square, that's a barcode. This one as well, you can see it right there. This one's the 2. So that's how you know on the 5 series what's original and what isn't an original. So we'll go ahead and put these here. Make sure that they're on the view of the camera. Okay, there we go. I think that's good. So that's 5 series. Let's go ahead and continue. iPhone 6s. This one's gonna be a copy. So you can see stamps on the bottom of the LCD. You can see it there, right there. No Apple on the flats neither. Same thing with this one. No Apple on the flats. Can't really see if there's any stamps, but no barcode on the flats neither on this one. The metal right up there should have a barcode as well, like on the 5 series, but it doesn't. So that's a copy. This one you can see the stamps right at the bottom, right there. No Apple. That's a copy. Okay, so this one's original. It's clear of any stamps, and it has the Apple right up there. Right here. Hold up. Right there. You can see it right there. That's an Apple. So it's original. So that's how we go off on the iPhone 6s. So this tag's copy, this tag's originals. Okay, so I messed up right here. So this one, I put it in original by accident. It's a copy. You can see right there the stamp top of the area, and there's no stamps on there, but you see a stamp right up top of the metal. It's kind of blue right there, and it has no Apple as well. So that's our copies. So these are originals. That's not it. We have another stack of iPhone 6s we can still count. original, copy, original, original, copy, so these are original, these are copy. Same procedure to determine on the as on the last stack. So. Okay, let's go. Let's do success now. So on the success, I'm not really looking for the apple. The apple is usually back here, but it's usually covered by a sticker. You also have the apple right there on the glass, right here. No, I don't think that's visible in the camera. Maybe on this one. Right here, this one's the big one. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's visible. So right, you can kind of see it's on top of the barcode. That's usually what I'm looking for on these. And the flexes. I'm also looking at the flexes when we're going through these. There's a big difference on the flexes for an original and the flex of a copy. So let's get them up close. Because this one's original, this one's a copy. You can see the difference in the flexes, the color difference, the shape difference on them. They're not the same at all, so it's really easy to tell. So this one's original. This one right here, copy. So what I'm gonna go on right now is mainly the look of the flex. So if you can see this flex, you can see the stamps as well, but you can see the flex is orange, which is not the right color. This one, you can see it too. This one, you can see it flex. You can see it's a little bit like yellowish and greenish. That's what we're looking for. These are original. Copies, original, copy, original, original, copy, copy, original, copy, original. So these are all original. And these are here. There's a copy. More successes. Original, 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 copy, original, original. You can see the vendor stamps right here. So a lot of originals on this stack, so that's good. You can see the vendor right here too. Get it closer. See the flex is all orange instead of like yellowish or greenish. All of these ones I'm carrying in my hand are original. So it's a good amount of originals. So only 3 bad copies on this. Put them right there. We'll include these. Oopsies. So that's it. Let's go with the 6 plus. Copy, copy, copy. So this is the difference on the 6 plus. So mainly, as you can know, stamps always kind of a shirt tail sign. See one stamp right there in the middle. You can see various stamps on down there. A lot of stamps on there. Original never has any stamps usually, unless it's on aftermarket or unless it's been refurbished before. And this one you can see it has like numbers right on the flats. right? This one also has letters, but also has the apple on the flats. See? That's how you know. Pretty simple as well. So on the Sits Plus is basically similar to the Sits S. The flats is the main tail. Original flats all look like this, the same as the Sits S basically. Same format, set bigger. Apples right here on the glass, right here. The flats you can tell, and the apple on this one is not back behind the flats here. Here, it's actually under it, right up here, right down here. So this one's a lot easier to find the apple since it's also not covered by any stickers. But for me it's a lot faster and a lot easier to do it by the way the flats is. I'll show you the difference on flats as well. So basically the same thing as on the Sits S. The difference on flats is basically the same thing. See? Yellowish, one orange, as well as the shape of it. You can see that it's like completely squarish. This one it's not completely square. It has like this thing that goes up here. Big difference, right? So it's really easy to tell. That's what we're going off on right now. Okay, there's a difference, you know, on the fletses, but it's really easy to tell. Like sometimes the fletses might look, on the copies might look different. Like this one you see it's actually yellow and greenish, but still the shape of it is not the right one. That's how you know. So there's some copies that look a lot closer to the original than others, but it's still not really that big of a problem to identify them. Okay, all of these original. We'll go ahead and we'll put them up here in front of the camera. Make them clearly visible. Okay, sorry about that. Got to focus on the separation. Okay, so 7, really easy as well. The flats is the main tail. The apple's also right here on the glass. Right here, you can see it right here on this glass. This one won't have it since it's a copy. The flats will also have it right under it. If you lift it up, it should be right here on the top. You see it right there. This one will not have it. It will usually have letters like on the Sits Plus, but the apple will be missing completely. And as you can tell, there's a big difference on the flats. If you lift it up, that metal right there, it's on this copy, but it's not on the original. And as well as on the length of the flats. Horizontally, the flats is a lot shorter on the copy than it is on the original. You can see that? So this one ends all the way here, and this one cuts off just before getting to this. square right here. So that's the ring tail. That's how I usually distinguish them. So it's really not hard at all to differentiate between them, and it's very quick. Basically takes very little time to do it. We're already 1 hour into the recording, I know, but I do have to explain everything as I go, so that's why it's a little bit, but it's really not a long process. Once you got it down, you can just do it. So this one's a copy. Okay, that's it. These are copies. Same on the 7 Plus, same thing as on the 7s. Glass, the apple right here. The flex is also on it. It's not on top of the flex over here. It's not up here, but it's down here. Not as close, but I'm pretty sure you can see it. Let me do it any closer. Right here, you can see it right here. That's how you know. Copy. As well as the flats. That's my main tail. The flats. You know, the flats is completely different from what it is on the original. It also cuts off almost before reaching the end. And it also has like a line on the flex. Let me show you that line. It's also on the 7, but it's more noticeable on the 7 Plus. So you see that line on this one right here. It's missing on the original. So the originals don't have it. On this table. I want to keep everything in view of the camera, so it's kind of hard since the camera really only gets like so much of a portion of the table. It's like not a lot, so I can't really use the whole table itself. I know this one will get it all the way here, which is more than this one. But still, I know this one is better. I think that one gives a better view for the customer. Okay, so I think I just mixed them up. Yeah, I did. So I just put 2 originals right here with the copies. So these 2 are originals. Copy, original. So as you can see, that line is still on these copies over here. On this one is a whole lot bigger. Flex is also a whole lot shorter. Let's make sure of this. Okay, this one, good. All original, which is good. So 8 Plus and 8, same thing as the iPhone 7 Plus, same thing. Flex is the main tail, exactly the same as the 7 Plus. That's why I'm not gonna go ahead and explain it, since it's exactly the same thing. You have the same tails as the 7 Plus and 7 on the 8 and 8 Plus. So try to move as fast as possible when we're testing, so we don't waste any time. So that's what we have, right? These, you saw the copies that were separated. You will receive a report It will be all on the report, the amount that were rejected because copies, the amount that will be rejected because they're broken. Hopefully there's no broken, you know, so. And these Samsungs clearly, right? So let me just go ahead and write down the total number, and then we'll go ahead and begin the testing. So I'm copying exactly what's on the computer except for the 7 Plus and the 6S Plus. Give me 1 second. Try to check something real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So yeah, everything's okay. I just got a little bit confused when I was writing it down. Since this was a mix between the 6S Plus and the 7 Plus, I explained it earlier today. So the total number of LCDs that we received matches exactly. The only mix up was that 7 Plus and the 6S Plus, where they put a 7 Plus with the 6S Plus. So, like I said, at the end of the day, it's better to have more 7 Plus than 6S Plus. Since 7 Plus it's worth more than the 6S Plus, right? We'll go ahead and we'll start with the Samsungs. We might have to cut it short, the video, since it's already going for an hour, and we'll probably cut this, make it part 1, and then we'll go ahead and resume it with another recording to not make it too long. We'll probably put the Samsungs in 1, as well as probably 6S maybe, or the 6. That way I'll mark it as well on the videos, and the video will be in the description, the second part of this testing. That way we won't have to, how do you say it? That way you won't have to, like, if you're looking for a specific one, you can go to video 1 or video 2, you know, so you don't have to watch, you know, 3 hours of recording. So we'll go ahead and do the Samsungs are gonna be in this video. So right now it's gonna continue. We'll put the Samsungs, and then we'll go ahead and start with some of the other LCDs, probably 6S, maybe 6. Well, we'll see. But I do want to keep the 7 and 7 Plus for the second video. So we'll see how it goes. We'll probably record for 30 more minutes, more or less, and then we'll see where we go from there. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's begin with the testing. Let's make sure everything's good on the recording. Don't want to start recording without making sure that we are live. Are we live? Yes, we are. That's weird. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's begin. we'll start, like I said, with the Samsungs. Make sure those are done first. Okay, so as we begin, this S5 looks like it's gonna be good, from what I can. Oh, hold up. Okay, so when you bend it, you're usually able to see if there's any cracks on the LCD. This one does kind of show a crack up here. I'm not sure if that's gonna mean it's broken. It could be that it's the glass, and that it also kind of looks like that. Makes it look like that. It might not even be the LCD. But the issue is that we're currently not buying anything that doesn't have a frame on Samsungs. So we do buy S5 so long as they have the frame on them, which will probably have to update that on the website. So the reason for that being is that Samsungs are very easy to break. They're very sensible. The LCD is super sensible. So if it doesn't have a frame at the moment that you pack it, at the moment that you're gonna do something with it, it's really easy for it to break. So that's why we're currently not buying it. You could break at any moment. So when it comes with a frame, it's really hard for it to break since it's kind of protected by the frame. The LCD is protected by the frame, like it is on the S6 Edge, like it is on the S8 as well. So that's the main difference. So this one we're currently not buying. That's why it's going to be going back into the box. Let me go ahead and mark that on the worksheet as well. Also put in the description for the report. I'll go ahead and I'll put this back into the box. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's begin with the S6 Edge. I have the board right here. We need to remove this to be able to get to the connector on the flats. Once that off, we should be able to test it without any issues. Let's make sure the battery's plugged in. And then we can just connect to the board. So it's not turning on. Nothing. So let's try to plug it into the charger. See if that does anything. So the battery's plugged in. Okay, so there you go. So it's showing the battery now, but you can also see the lines on the LCD. That's broken. So yeah, it makes sense since the glass itself doesn't look broken on this LCD. So it makes sense, you know, like because usually when people do send it to us, it's because the glass is broken, since that's what we do, right? We buy broken screens. But when you receive a screen, you know, that looks good, like the glass is not broken, it usually means that the part itself is no good somehow. You know, either the flex is not good or the LCD is broken and stuff like that. So this one, if you examine it, it has no cracks in it. This LCD, this part, you know. So it makes sense that the reason it was sent is probably because it was put in the broken pile because of that line that appears on the LCD, you know. So that line means the LCD is broken, you know. So we only buy good functional LCDs that are good. So touch has to work, everything has to work. You know, it can only have minor issues, like maybe a shadow, you know, if the keyboard showing on the white screen, stuff like that, little stuff like that. You know, that's what we do buy. But we're currently not buying completely broken Samsungs. So this one's going to be bad. We'll go ahead and we'll put that back into the box as well. And you could see on the screen, right? It wasn't turning on at the beginning at all. When we plugged it in, it turned on, the battery showed, but you could see the big lines. So the board was not charged. That's the main reason why it wasn't turning on at the beginning. But that line is broken. So that's bad. So what we have next is going to be the S8. We have an S8 board right here. Go ahead and do this one right now. Let's unplug the battery. So this board is charged, so it should turn on without any issues. Let's go ahead and plug in the that's plugged in, right? I'll check it myself. It looks good. Everything looks good on the board. So let's go ahead, let's unplug the battery. Make sure, plug it back in. Make sure the board's off, right? And now we're gonna go ahead and try to turn it on. Not seeing anything right now, so that's weird. Like I said, the board is charged, but we'll go ahead and plug it in as well, just to have that certainty, you know. So let's try one more time though, just like this. Nothing showing at all. So once again, let's unplug the battery. We'll try plugging it in to the charger. See if that does anything for us. So battery, so it's supercharging right now. Let's try power button. Nothing. So as you saw on the S8's edge, as soon as we plugged it in, the LCD lit up. That's not happening on this S8 at all. So that brings us to the conclusion that this LCD is broken. That's the reason it's not turning on. Yep. All coming in.
too late. It's up to the phone line. Okay. Alright, no problem.
Okay, so let's try one more time.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Okay.
Sure.
Does he really? Because the email that you have on there,
It's
it didn't
broken.
have anything on. It didn't have any fault on.
So that's the main reason it's not turning on at all. It's a broken LCD. So you get a better connection when you put it into the board, the motherboard, when you put it into the LCD. But even like that, you could see it did flicker on, but it's still broken, as you could see. Otherwise, it would have turned on when we put it to charge, pretty sure. Or just when it was like this, because like I said, it's been charged. This board's been charged for a while. So on all the Samsungs, they were all broken, as you could see on the camera.
I'm done.
Okay.
An email was sent to him for Pulse.
Okay.
From my understanding, he already has an account with Pulse at another location. So in order for him to link them together, he's going to have to, create a new password and all that with the email that I use, and then he'll call ADT to have them link, and they'll just tie them together.
Okay.
That's it.
Sounds good.
Other than that, since he knows how to use Pulse, he should be able to, do codes and all that. As of now.
Yeah, I think he does.
Yeah, as of now, the code is 1234, which is just a default, and then he'll just have to go in Pulse and make the change.
Okay.
Other than that, I didn't hook up the siren. Other than that, I sent signals. We received them, so it worked properly.
Okay.
Press the siren. I just need you to sign something stating that I was here.
Okay.
And of course, if he has any questions or anything like that, he can get a hold of Albert.
Okay.
He can either walk him through Pulse or anything like that. Just need you to sign right there, stating that I was here.
Done, right?
Yep. Alrighty.
All right.
I appreciate it, then.
No problem. Thanks, man. So let's try to get the 6 Plus and iPhone 6 in this video. Like I said, we'll have to cut it off early, but I'll try to leave. So this one's broken. Let's see. Let me get these out of the way. I'll be placing broken LCDs right on this corner, right here. So they'll be on the view of the camera. So as you can see, this one's broken. I don't really need to explain it. It's pretty, it's visible right on the LCD. So let's keep going. This one, I think I unplugged the battery. I don't know why I did that. Okay, now we can start. This one turned on. Apple everything. Check flits. Flits looks good. Doesn't flicker, nothing. So this is gonna be a good LCD. You just have to make sure that it doesn't have any touch issues and that it doesn't have any dead pixels, bruises. That's what we're looking for. So this we'll find out. Start. Okay, so the black screen looks good, the white screen looks good as well. This is gonna be an A-grade screen. Let's make sure to touch. Yep, looks good. A-grade screen. So one broken so far, all good. We're looking for good screens. That's what we want. Okay, this one, no, there's a flicker, so it's good. Let's move to touch. Sure, touch works, yes. So if the flats wasn't working, touch wasn't moving, the screen will be considered broken. I mean, since you need it needs to be a functioning LCD. Okay, so there's a bit of fog on top, nothing big though. So let's say black screen is good. The white screen, I see yellowish around the sides. Kind of bit of a strong yellowish tint on the sides. Let me see if I can get it maybe a little bit closer to the. I don't know how clear you might see that. I think you can see the yellow on top. I don't think you can see the rest of the sides. But it's on the top where it is a little bit stronger. This would be B grade. Yellow around the sides on the white screen is B grade. So basically you're looking for a perfect LCD, right? The screen can be broken, that's not a problem. But if the LCD has any defects, like dead pixels, water damage, stuff like that, that's what lowers the grade of it. You know, so it's like if the screen has been on the board for like a long time, you know, they've been used for a long time, it increases the probability of it having some sort of imperfection, and it increases the probability depending on how badly it's broken as well. Depending on how broken it is as well, it increases the probability of it being different. Of how broken it is, increases the probability that it might be a B grade or C grade, since the cracks do kind of make the screen have things like bruises or dead pixels. We have been running for a while now, so we'll try to cut off this video right here. I'll put it on the title of the video. This one's broken too. I'll put on the title of the video how far we got. So Samsung testing, they were all broken unfortunately, as you could see on the screen. And that S5, you know, that I didn't get to test. I do have the board for it, I could test it. The problem is that it does not have a frame, so we can't buy it. You know, that's the issue. If it had a frame, it would not be an issue, we would get it. So this one, black screen looks good, white screen has an issue. I want to show it to you on the screen. I'm pretty sure you should be able to see it. It's like a black, you can see it right there. It's not strong, but that black, like grayish, thick line on the gray screen, it's right there. It's right there. It's not that strong, but if you look at it with just your bare eyes, without the camera, you know, because I know the brightness of the LCD does interfere with how it looks on the camera. But if you were looking at it, you know, with just your bare eyes, you would see, you know, it has like scratches on the LCD. It's weird, but stuff like that, that's an imperfection, and that lowers the quality of the LCD to C grade. So B grade, basically anything that has dead pixels or anything that is yellowish tint around the white, around the LCD, like around the sides of the LCD, the white screen, that's B grade. So only those two reasons really are the only ones why the screen will be considered B grade: dead pixels or the yellowish around the side of the LCD. And then you have the C grade, which is a few more things. It's like ripped flexes, if the flex is ripped on the 7 Plus only. If the small 3D touch flex is ripped, it's usually C grade. Bruises, like big bruises, like red, I'll probably get to some later in the day. Water damaged, white on white spots, you know, like when you look at the white screen, if there's any any spots that look wider than the rest of it, usually it's because usually it can be caused by water damage. It can also be caused because on this screen, like when the moment that it's installed maybe, or the moment that it's removed, or the moment they place it with other screens, they'll scratch each other. And the moment this is scratched, it produces that white on white spots, like that kind of thing, as well as a group of dead pixels, like a bunch of dead pixels grouped together. And that also is considered C-grade. So it's like more severe things, which it sometimes can be more likely than B-grade screens. But at the same time, not necessarily. It really depends on the way you take care of the screen. Sometimes right after you install it, if you have it put with a bunch of other screens without any protection, they'll probably rub against each other and press against each other, and that will produce a little bit more damage on the LCD. So at the moment that you remove the screen, if the screen is a good screen, you want to put it on a baggie like this, or put it into one of those plastics that you send them all in immediately after removing the screen, because that way you protect the screen from ever like rubbing against other LCDs or pressuring strongly against other LCDs. So far there's been no bruises. Bruises are usually produced because there's been too much pressure, or at the moment that it broke, it produced too much pressure on the LCD. And that's usually what causes a bruise. We haven't had many of those right now, so that's a good thing. There's only 6 plus though. Let's try to do 6s. We've been live for 1 hour and 30 minutes. Let's try to do 6s. Maybe if we can get to iPhone 6s Plus, or maybe the 5 series. And then we'll go ahead and stop the video. I think we should be able to get to the 5 series. And then we can just do everything that has the metal back plate on the back as the second video. So this one is turning on. You can see yellowish around the sides. That's very common on old LCDs. So it's more common on iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, 5 series. It's very common on those because they're older. So this one has yellow on top, yellow on the sides, yellow down here, yellow over here, which, like I said, is very common on older LCDs. That's why it's very rare to find those on the 6S, 6S Plus, 7 or 7 Plus, as well as the 8 series. And you never see that on any Samsungs. It's very rare to have any sort of issues with the Samsungs. Usually it's those lines, the mince is broken, or it could be other things like shut off. It's weird. It's no battery. Like I was saying, or on Samsungs, usually it's like a shadow, like the keyboard, being visible on a white screen when it shouldn't be visible. Like when you're on the Notes app from the Samsung, and you can see the keyboard clearly burned into the screen, without actually the keyboard being up. Like that's the kind of thing you're looking for on Samsung. That's usually the main problem that they have on Samsungs. That would lower the quality of it on Samsungs. But on iPhones it's pretty different. It's different, definitely. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to get to the 5 series. I know I'm talking a lot. I am talking a lot. I probably should stop talking so much. But I'm gonna get bored if I don't talk. I was trying to listen to music earlier, but I don't know if I'll get copyrighted on YouTube because of that. So that'd be pretty funny if it did happen. So no problem. So that's why I had to turn it off. Yeah. I'll probably try it somewhere down the road. If the video gets bad, I won't do it again. So this one's C, this one's C, this one's C, 5S, 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 5. The other thing is that also I don't think people watch these videos all the way through. Like it's they're long videos, some of them. so I highly doubt people really watch them. Yeah, okay. But I'm thinking it's not charged. So let's try charging. We'll unplug these sets just for a bit. We might have to do the sets on the next video. Just let it charge for a bit and just jump into the next video. The one that says plus, the one that says so this one's also dead. I'll go ahead, I'll check the black screen. Since the LCD doesn't seem to have a lot of damage on it, it's just a small crack on top. Usually, like I said, usually like the crack, how cracked the screen is can affect the grade of it a lot. So since the screen is not cracked on the LCD area at all, it's just cracked up here just a little bit, I'm gonna put it in A grade. Where's that 55? Where did it go? Where did it go? It's right here. I lose boards like crazy, even though they're right under my nose. So this one's the 5C. Oh my god. So that's probably gonna be another battery. Needs to be charged most likely. Let me try one more time now. I'm gonna plug in the charger now. See what that does. Nothing. Okay, use those lines. So it is on. Those lines though, just not good. Let's try another LCD. Yep, it's a battery. Okay, so 5C, when compared to the rest of the 5 series LCDs, its value is like way lower than the rest of the 5 series. So the screen is always a C grade on the 5C, only on the 5C. 5S and 5 series can be A, B, C. But since the value of the 5C it's so much lower than on the regular 5s, the other 5s, it's always C grade. No matter what. So this one is not turned on whatsoever, nothing. This one's broken for sure. The LCD itself has no damage as well, so it's kind of like the same thing as on the Samsung. It has no cracks at all. The LCD looks really like brand new, basically, almost. It also has a tempered glass here, so it's almost basically perfect. Like if it turned on and everything worked, it would be an original good screen, you know, like other than the fact that not turning on, everything looks good on it, you know. So it's like it's too good to be true, you know. So it's like definitely there's probably something wrong with it, and the fact that it's not turning on kind of lets me know what the issue is. It's not turning on. It's probably broken, you know. So, and this one as well, as you saw it, as soon as it turned on, it was like a bunch of lines on the LCD. And that one, on the very first time it turned on without any issues, without any problem. Well, obviously not because the battery was there, but you understand what I mean. Like the screen didn't give any issues, and it didn't show that it would give any issues at all. Like no lines, nothing like that. So let's move on to the 5C. Get these out of the way, then we can do this. The rest of everything, the next video should not be too long. It should be maybe an hour max. The things that take longer to test is the 7 and 7 Plus, but it shouldn't be that much. We should probably be done with it in a matter of minutes. Probably an hour max to do all the testing for this. An hour and 30 minutes, maybe if we do go overboard with all the explaining and stuff. So this one's not turning on. Could be the battery as well. 5 series we don't get as much, so these boards we don't use as much, but this one's not lighting up. See, like I was saying, 5S we don't get as much because, you know, they're a bit older, so the 5 boards we don't use them as much. That's why most of them sometimes are dead, like not charged, because since we don't really use them, sometimes we just have them there, you know, and the battery is draining since they're just there, and sometimes it's like 3 days before we ever grab them again to test. Sometimes we get a bunch of them, one after the other, right? This one I think I used it recently. It should have charged, but for some reason it's not turning on at all with none of these LCDs. Go ahead, take this one back, put it right here just in case. Not turning on at all with none of them. That's so weird. So let's go ahead and try another one. That's 2 of them that are plugged into the board, that I've tried to turn the board on, no power. I've plugged in the charger, still nothing at all. Let's still in the wrong. Let's take this one. Show nothing. Plug that in. Nothing. That's weird. So it's the reason why I grabbed that one and put it back here is because usually when it's one LCD that does that, it's not a big deal. You know, it's more than likely broken and not good. You know, because if the rest of them, you know, turn on, and that one single one wasn't turning on, it's pretty clear, right? Like that one's broken because it won't turn on, and then you try another LCD and you try another LCD, and the same thing, right? All of them are turning on, but that one wasn't turning on, and then you go back to it, it's still not turning on. It's pretty clear, you know, that one's broken. But when you go to one LCD and then you go to, and that LCD didn't turn on, and then you go to another LCD and that one doesn't turn on, then another one and that one doesn't turn on, and you go to 3 of them or 4 of them and they're not turning on. Okay, this one turned on, and they're not turning on at all. Like, that's not a good thing. That's not a good sign. You know, it could be that the board's not good. That's when none of them are turning on, because the board itself is not good. You know, so that's why I grabbed that one back, since it did it with that one, but then I plugged in the next one and it did the same thing. I plugged in the other one and it did the same thing. You know, so it makes me think, you know, maybe the board's messing up. I tried this one though, and this one did turn on. Maybe not perfectly, but it lit up. This one's also lighting up. Okay, so now we're seeing that the board does turn on. Let's try one of these again. See, that's what I'm talking about. They turned on. Now these need to turn on, and they're dead, so we're gonna leave it to charge now. I think the SIDs should have enough battery for us to do it right now. We'll leave these right here. And these, you saw the lines on them. This one you saw it as soon as you plugged it in. You turned on to the right screen, to the battery, you know, without any lines or anything. I think we might be able to get through those stitches. That won't have as much for the next video. Hopefully it should be done in maybe less than 10 minutes on the stitches. So let's go ahead and get these done. We'll do this 5 series on the next one as soon as the board charges a bit more. Okay, so this one, first one, you can see the fog coming in from the bottom. Very usual as well on older LCDs. Yellow on the top. This one's a B grade. Touch seems like it works. Flats doesn't give any issues. Touch does work, so that's going to be a B grade screen. Continue. Let's get it done. This net sits. Touch works. Yes, it does. Looks good. Which one looks good? Black screen looks good as well. This is going to be A grade. So, A grade. A lot of work. We have a lot of work. Broken. Let's see. These boards over here. That way we won't get mixed. We can mix everything up without these broken ones. I also need to keep and separate them so I can write them down on the report. Okay. So this one has a bit of a dead pixel right above this corner over here. It'll be visible on the screen, the camera. That's gonna be B grade. Try to see if I can find one that has a bit of bigger dead pixels. Okay, this one's gonna be C grade. You can see the yellow bruise. You can see it already. Get it closer. You should be able to see it right up there. You can see it right there. And there's also one in the middle, right here. That's very visible. So that's C grade. So that's C grade. That's kind of what I mean by the more broken the screen, usually the more likely it is to have a bruise or dead pixels, mainly bruises, you know, since for it to break. No display. Bunch of dead pixels up here, so that would be considered. That freaked me out. So that would be considered C grade because of how many dead pixels are up here, as well as water damage. You can see already on the black screen, but it's not display, so that's broken. Okay, we got 6 more minutes for it to reach the 2-hour mark. We gotta cut it off soon because it's gonna be way too long. If you do have any curiosity about it, I'll probably put this in the video description on the first video, on this video. Yeah, this one has dead pixels as well. They're not huge, but it does have more than one. That's 1, 2, has like 5 dead pixels. Not really close to each other, but around the same area. So I don't know, maybe you'll be able to see one of them. Highly doubt it, man. I highly doubt it. I wish there was something that could show you all of the dead pixels on the screen. Turned off, sorry. Highly doubt it'll be visible at all. But I don't know. Maybe if you want to pause it, try to look at it closer. I don't know. It's really hard for the camera to capture. I do wish I had a camera that could show all of that. You know, because it would be better, definitely. But they're so small. They're so tiny. And then you're looking at a screen that, you know, it's kind of, even if it's black, you know, it does emit some level of light, which doesn't let the camera really like capture the little dead pixels very easily. This one also has dead pixels. It also has a bit of a yellow tint on the white screen. Nothing that will make it C grade, but it does have those two things that will make it B grade. Man. Broken. Your side. Just continue. Broken, as you saw. Broken. I don't know if you that's clear. It's right down there. Broken. Broken. A lot of broken. They were really well packed. So I don't expect that many of them to be broken, honestly, because of how well packed they were, because it was really well packed. So either at the moment they were removed, or maybe when the repair was done, or before that, maybe even they had already been like that, and they put them in the plastics or something like that. Or the other option is that they were all put into the same container without any sort of protection, and then in that, while they were there, they maybe bumped into each other a couple of times, or something happened, you know, that made them get broken. You know, because honestly, the way they was packed, it was really good. I would expect more of them to be 100% A grade, honestly. That kind of packaging is really good. What I would say is make sure that at the moment that the screen is removed, if it's a good screen, like it's not, the LCD is not broken like those, if the screen turns on and it has touch and those kind of things, you know, immediately put it in a baggie and put it into a container that's specifically for these things, you know, that it's safe, it's not gonna fall, you know, they're not gonna be, you know, unprotected. Put it in a bag in one of those plastics immediately, and then put them inside, because it's money, right? All the LCDs are money, you know. You want to keep them as, this one has yellow on the sides. Well, like I said, this one's really, you can't really help it because it's an old LCD, you know. It also has a white on white spot right here that you can possibly avoid. Right here, I don't know if you can see it, the spots right here, then you have a bunch of little dots. I think that's visible. bunch of those little dots that are like bright, that's because the light of the LCD goes through that. That's because there was either some like glass and the LCD was very exposed to it, or like I said, they were all together and they were rubbing against each other, putting pressure on the other LCD, and it caused these little bright spots on the back of the LCD. And it caused those. You can see them right there. And it caused those. And that causes that white on white bruise. And that's secret. So you want to avoid that. You want to avoid that as much as possible. So yeah, like I said, my advice would be immediately after removing the screen, if you know that the screen was a good screen, put it into a container of itself. Put baggies on all of them, or put them into the plastics from the screen that was the screen that you replaced it with. Put it into those plastics. Put it into a container specifically for them. Make sure that they are put nicely. They're not unorganized. They're organized. And then, when the moment comes for you that you want to ship them out to us, go ahead and pack them exactly the same way you packed it here, because that was good packing. And go ahead and send it. Because a lot of people, end up having screens that go bad because at the moment that they take it off the phone to replace the screen, they don't immediately put it into a safe place. They just throw it into the container, and then you can see that red bruise on the LCD. Yeah, so I was saying they immediately take it off the board, throw it into a container. This one has a bruise right. Let me get closer to it. It's a red bruise and a purple bruise right on top of that area. I don't know if that's visible. I can't really see the camera, but yeah. I get distracted really quickly, man. So like I was saying, they just take it off, they put it into a container with a bunch of other LCDs that are broken, a bunch of other LCDs that might be good too, and they just leave them there. And the whole time, they're just throwing more in there, and like the ones at the bottom are getting pressed on, and that damages them, and they lower the quality of this LCD. So you don't want that, because it's money. The more angry you get, the better for you, right? So take care of your LCDs as soon as you take them off. That way you can avoid having any broken in the middle of that process. From the moment that you take it off the board to the moment you ship to us, avoid any damage happening to them, right? And that's what you want to do. So take measures, to kind of avoid those kinds of things. It'll be good for it. It will be good at the end of the day for both, right? Me, the company right here, and for the customer, right? The customer will get more A grade definitely, and we'll also get more A grade, which is good. It's good for both of us. So that already hits the 2-hour long mark. I talked a lot during this video. I don't know why I'm so talkative today. If my voice annoys anybody that's listening to this, I am so sorry. But if I don't talk, I'm gonna get super bored because I have nothing else going on in here other than testing. I can't listen to music or nothing like that because I'm afraid of copyright ban from YouTube. So that's gonna be it for these. I'll put it on the description what exactly we tested on this first part, which was the Samsung's iPhone 6 Plus, iPhone 6, a couple of 5s, and then I'll put also the description for the rest that's left here. It's not a lot, like I said. These are pretty quickly to also go over, except the 7 series. I'm thinking the video is probably going to be an hour long, maybe a little bit longer, hopefully not. And a lot of the video, I'm going to try to not talk as much because I feel like a lot of the videos be going on me on talking. And I'm going to try to get it done as fast as possible so that we don't have a long video like this one. That's going to be it for part 1 though. Order number 0453, October 10th. I'm probably going to go to lunch. I'll come right back, finish these up.